Common question that I'm asked is, how do you see the market playing out in terms of the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months and beyond? And markets will always rise and fall. I wish I had a crystal ball. I'm in real estate and it's a very hard question to answer. What could be said is that in the short term, prices may contract somewhat. The transaction numbers may be down as the real estate industry and everyone just grapples with the new way of doing business. But also what I would say is that with the retraction in the community transmissions of the virus and the potential of the current restrictions being lifted shortly, where we will move back to a normality of life, where we will see people potentially back into the workplace with their jobs. With that will come confidence in the market. And with confidence in the market, what that will translate to is more buyers out looking to buy again to secure a home as they desired. And with that, we will see prices rise. So I would suggest that in answering that question, where what's going to happen within the real estate market in the short term and the long term, within the short term there may be some contraction, but in the long term, if history is anything to go by, we'll see property prices continue on their onward and upward trajectory. Another typical question that's quite often asked in situations like this, is it a good time to buy right now? I'm watching the news and the news is saying that the pricing market, there's going to be a bloodbath, prices are going to plummet, price is going to fall 10 to 20%. Is it better to just wait, see what happens and maybe buy at a later time? It's a really good question and it's a really good thing to consider. And what I would say is, when you assess the situation we're in right now, look back at history. And what you've found is that we're in a current market situation. That's how I describe it right now. We've had market situations before. Just think back to 2001, we had 9/11 with the terrorist situation. 2008, we had the global financial crisis. In 2010, we had the property bubble. And in 2018, most recently, we had the situation with the Banking Royal Commission. And in all of those situations, what we saw as a result of those situations is a market that panicked a little bit, a market that contracted, where prices did come back in the short term. But over the long term, what we found was that prices increased back as we got into growth phases beyond what they had been ever before. So in terms of that, as you look at the situation right now and you ask, should I buy or shouldn't I buy? The thing that comes to mind for me is my personal situation. And back in 2002, as a young guy, young married, and I was looking to purchase a property, I bought a property, and for a year or two I thought, oh no, I've paid too much for this home. And now I look at that situation. I'm actually sitting here in my backyard now that I've enjoyed for the last 18 years, and I can remember that 18 years ago thinking I'd paid too much. I now look back and laugh. And so similarly, in times like this, there can be a worry that you may be paying too much, but the critical thing is this: how do you pick the bottom of the market? Okay, so if you're sitting back and thinking, I'm going to procrastinate and I'm going to wait until the market drops, what if the market doesn't drop? Think back to 2018, which was very, very recent, where we had a bit of a contraction phase there, but we came off the elections, the banks released the lending criteria, and we saw the market come back in leaps and bounds with a ferocity that we'd never seen before, and prices escalating. During that period of time, we dealt with buyers who had made the decision that they were going to hold off on purchasing, waiting for the market to come down, only to be really disappointed that they hadn't made a decision on purchasing, and then attending our auctions through the latter part of last year, disheartened and very, very upset that they were continuing to miss out as the property prices escalated. So right now, we're in a situation where prices have contracted, where there is the opportunity to purchase it at a really fair and reasonable price. And whether prices come down $10,000, $20,000, or maybe even a little bit more in the short term, if you can secure the property that you love right now, if you're in a position where you can service the repayments, you will look back in years to come, just like I did, and laugh, being completely satisfied with your purchase and the enjoyment that you've been able to have in the property for many, many years.